Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and we've had some pretty big storms come through the last few days, and I've been getting calls and messages about people who have trees down asking if I can help. And I may do a few of these depending on how those phone calls go, but today I'm starting off by going to help my dad who has a big tree down at his house. So I've got the tractor loaded up in case we need some help. I've got two big chainsaws and a small one in the back of the truck. We're gonna get out there and see what we're dealing with. All right, so this is the part of the tree that came down, and looking at it, we need to try to see how much of the standing part we can take down as well. We may have to move my dad's 49 Chevy out of the way, but it runs, so that won't be too hard. So I'm guessing there's probably a few guys watching that are more interested in your truck than the tree. So what do we got here?
Well, this is a 1949 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup. I've had it for quite a few years. I originally gave $500 for it. We haven't done hardly anything to it, and it'll start up and move.
You used to have a bunch of 50s Chevy trucks.
Oh yeah,
this is the only one now.
This is the only one left. I've got a 48 Chevy car if somebody's interested.
Right. So the heavy part of the tree is hanging up in the air here. When I saw the pictures, I thought that it was still connected or wedged against the trunk, but it's not. It's just, apparently there's enough weight down here to just hold it up. Now, first thing I want to do is just start removing anything that's unnecessary or not affecting it. So I'm just going to start trimming off all this little stuff here. And I normally do my limbing with the 500, but today I'm just going to do a little bit of limbing with this top handle saw. So the majority of this job went pretty smooth, just bucking up this tree, sorting it into brush and bigger usable size pieces, and then piling it up. But when it comes to the remaining section of tree that is leaning and dangerous, I felt like I had a pretty good plan on how to deal with it, and I just did not execute that plan properly, and it turned into a pretty bad situation. But I followed the rule that I always use, which is to show my mistakes. And this is one that was tempting to take out of the video, but I've left it in. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. We've got some more good-sized branches next to the propane tank that my dad cut loose before I got here. We'll get those out of the way. I don't think we're too far from trying to push this over and roll it and get it on the ground. Boy, it's hot out here in these chaps. I think the temperature's listed at around 100, but it feels a lot hotter than that right now. So if that weight decides to move, I think it's gonna roll that way, because all that weight is leaning out that way, and there's a trailer. It's a lightweight trailer, but there's a trailer under the limbs on this side. So I think I want to cut all this loose from over here. Right now, this is holding some weight, this trailer.
And see, I think what's keeping it from coming this way is these limbs, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking I'd like to do is shove it over that way.
Yeah.
But when it does, anything sticking out over here is going to fly up in the air.
Well,
So I thought about taking this branch off, but it's kind of holding weight from the whole
get
thing.
the bucket underneath something like this. I don't know.
I thought
I'll
about
ask
that,
him.
but I don't think I can push very high with that.
Let me get this stupid trailer rolled out of there. And,
Yeah.
oh, you
That
bit
was-
the fender on my trailer.
That was my other consideration, is if I
Make sure you
lifted
do.
that branch, what would it do? I guess we could just find out. Pretty much. So if we leave this alone, this tree is going to fall and crush this shop building. And I'm not going to take this whole thing down today, but I may come back and do that when I'm prepared and have the right equipment with me. What I am going to do today is take some weight off of it by cutting this branch right here. Now it kind of looks like if I just start at the top and make my cut, it would probably fall just to the side of the shop and we'd be fine. But I like to think, what's the best way to do something within reason without wasting, too much time on it? And I'm thinking, what, in a scenario where this goes wrong, what causes it? And I think the answer to that is if you're cutting from over here, the branch starts to fall before you're all the way through. You know for sure that's going to happen. And if the wood that's still holding on is on that side, it could try to swing it that way. So my plan is to come up the back side and remove some material from the back side, and then make a notch in the bottom, and then make the cut from the top, so that it's going to fall straight down, and straight down is a clear spot. So that was a complete fail. I was only planning to cut, I didn't plan to cut quite that high on it, and I was pulling my saw out to move it to the top when it decided to come down. And where it landed, it didn't hurt anything, but that didn't go according to plan. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get this cut up and out of here. So I still believe I had the right plan there. But those should have been shallow cuts on the back side and on the bottom. And I just totally botched the execution of that and made it very dangerous. I'm guessing that the biggest criticism I'm going to take here is holding onto the handle of the saw as the limb was falling. And you're probably right, but what I did, if you notice, is put the main trunk of the tree, which wasn't going anywhere, in between me and that limb, and in between me and the saw. So I was protecting myself, but I probably should have let go of the handle. So we took care of the immediate mess, but if we don't do anything else, it's just a matter of time before the rest of this tree falls on that building. And I did not come prepared to deal with that. What we need is a good pole saw, I think, to take off a bunch of the side limbs. And then we need some rigging to try to pull a little bit on the main trunk. And I'm just not prepared to do it today. But you'll probably see that in an upcoming episode.
Well, what Brock hasn't said either is it's about 103 degrees out here, and we're pretty much wore out.
Yeah. I've had all the fun I want to for today, but I like to be honest, I'm intimidated by what's left of this, because we know the bottom's rotten. There's a lot of weight to that side. I think all that weight has to come off, or it's smart to take all this side weight off and as much weight off the whole thing as possible before cutting it. So
improves your ability to pull it where you want it to go if there's not a lot of counterweight.
So that's it for this video. I appreciate you taking time to watch. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.